All right, welcome everyone to the second week of class. Hope your first week went all right. This week you're going to have two sections, hopefully shorter videos, as well as an actual quiz. Not saying the syllabus quiz wasn't awesome, but you'll have a quiz on math now. All right, so this section is maybe one of the most important sections for the next 10 sections, okay? So a lot of this stuff might be easy depending on who you are, or maybe it's not, that's okay. But it's so critical of a foundation that it's important and really imperative that you have a mastery of this section before you move on, okay? So make sure that you do have a good grasp of this before you go on to 1.3 and then for future weeks as well. All right, so this first video, we're gonna start by talking about one definition and just how to find slopes. You might say, I already know how to find slopes. Good. I hope you say that because that was last week, okay? But it's going to have a slightly different framework. So let's start with the definition over here. And we'll just give the text definition. Again, if you are making your own notes, which I highly encourage you to do, if you are making your own notes, feel free to pause the video so that you have time to copy this definition down, okay? So we only got through one letter in our definition. Let's see if we can get through a little bit more. That would be great. There we go. Definition. Slope of a curve at a point P is the slope of the tangent line to the curve at P. Okay? So let's unpack this real quick, shall we? What is the slope of a curve? Right? This is what we're defining. We're defining the slope of a curve at a specific point, okay? And the idea is that we just have to look at the tangent line. Let's look at this a little bit, okay? So let's say that we have some sort of curve, okay? And on this curve, there's some point P. Well, the tangent line is just the line that kind of skips across it, okay? That's actually a terrible tangent line. Tangent line is the line that just like it's this blue line or whatever that just kind of grazes right up against it. Okay, and so this can look differently, right? We might have, let's say we have a different curve and a different point P. This one might have a tangent line, looks like this, the one that just kind of glides across it, right? Or we might have another curve that maybe it's going like this. And maybe these are all the same curves, just different points, okay? Well, then in this one, it's again going to be this little thing right here. And just this class, you know, I always loved like creative writing. This class has a little bit of creativity in it as well. Your creativity is your imagination in that you have to imagine that the lines that I draw in this class are straight, okay? If you can imagine that, your happiness in this class will go up by a ton. All right. Anyway, so these are all curves. The white things are curves, and they have tangent lines, which are the blue things. So the slope of the curve is just the slope of that tangent line. The slope of the curve is just the slope of this blue guy. And you know how to find the slope of a line. We did that in the last section, okay? So let's do an example. All right, so let's go on to the next page and look at example numero uno. And let's move this a little bit because I know it's already going to cause problems. Example, ooh, that's not how it goes. Example 1. Find the slope of the curve at the point P and the equation of the tangent line. And the equation of the tangent line. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is going to be like your first couple of problems in the homework assignment. Although in the homework assignment, they don't require this part. I will still be asking you to do that part, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so let's say we got a little graph right here. And let's say that we're looking at the point 4, 2. And let's say the curve looks something like this. And then given in the problem will be that there's this tangent line that's ooh, hold on, we got to fix this a little bit. It goes through the point. That's very important. Very important that it actually goes through the point. All right, the point is right here. Hey, there we go. Now we got this tangent line. Looks kind of like, this is easier to do in the book, I suppose. But let's say the tangent line looks like this. So when you find the slope of the curve at this point, all you have to do is say, what is the slope of the tangent line? Slope of the curve is the slope of the tangent line. All right, slope of the curve, slope of the tangent line. Same thing. So all you do is just kind of count. You just look at this tangent line. Okay, it crosses this point, this point, this point, this point. What's the rise over run of the blue? Well, we're going down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, okay? So the slope of the tangent line is down, means it's gonna have a negative. Down 2 is the rise. And over 1, which is the run. Okay, so the slope, the slope is just -2. Remember, negative means it's going down. So yes, this one is going down. And the bigger the number, the steeper it is. The closer to 0, the more flat it is, right? Because remember, flat is a slope of 0. Okay, so the slope of the tangent line is -2. Oh, we already did the first. That's already what they wanted. Because the slope of the tangent line is the same as the slope of the curve. All right, so we've already done the first thing that we were asked. Go ahead and box this answer. Slope is -2. And now we also have to find the equation of the tangent line. So this goes back to 1.1, the first section. We have a slope, we have a point. Let's use point slope form, okay? Remember, point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Well, we already have our slope, right? Our slope is just that -2. We just need an x1, y1. We need a point on the graph. Well, we've got a point right here. What point is that? And specifically, remember, we're trying to find the equation of the tangent line. So we need a point on the tangent line. All right. Need a point on the tangent line. So even if we had like other points here and here, those wouldn't help us because those are not on the blue line. We need a point on the blue line. So P works. This point up here works. This point down here works. This point down here works. All of those points work. But remember, if we're finding the equation of the tangent line, we need a point that's on the line. Okay. So we'll just choose P. But you could use other ones, right? So you can use P, which is the point 4, 2. You could use the one to the left, which is 3, 4. You could use the one on the right, which is 5, 0, etc., etc. Lots of points you can use. So many choices in this class. Infinitely many correct answers. Infinitely many incorrect answers too. So anyway, now we'll just plug things in. So we'll get y minus the y coordinate of our point. Remember, our point's 4, 2. Y minus 2 is equal to m, our slope, which we said was -2. Times x minus our x coordinate, which we said was 4. And again, I'm perfectly okay with you leaving your answer like this. I'll box it in red over here. All right. But if you want to write it in slope-intercept form, distributing and solving for y and stuff like that, you can do that as well. Okay. And that's that's most of this video. All right. There's another type of problem that we can look at real quick. I'm not going to make it a formal example, but there are problems on the homework assignment that look like this. There are problems that ask you to estimate the slope here. And so, like, if you look at these things right here, right, you can't tell the slope really because, you know, the graph is ugly. It's just a sketch. But the point is not to say what the slope is. You'll have problems that ask you to estimate the slope, like starting at like problem 9, okay, on the homework assignment. So there we go. Now you can see the Y. So just estimate it. So first off, you have to estimate, right? What we want to think, and here, let's separate this all off. If we want to estimate, I'm blocking the E now too. Right? If you want to estimate these slopes, first you have to decide positive or negative. And then you have to find out how big it is, right? Big or small? Oh, small is big or squished, it should be, because that small does not fit in the window. All right, so on this first one, right? Let's look at this guy right here. So this first one, if we're estimating the slope, it's positive. We're going uphill, right? If we drew a little guy going in this direction, he's got to climb uphill. Really going to work those quads. All right. Maybe we'll leave that guy up there. So the first one is going to be positive. And how steep is it? It's not super steep. It's going about the same amount right as it goes up. So maybe we'd estimate, I don't know, like +1. You don't have to write the positive, just write the 1. So maybe 1 is about the slope of the first one. The second one, is it going uphill or downhill? Well, you know, if we draw a little guy standing on here, walking uphill or downhill, well, it's flat. It's not uphill or downhill. It's not positive or negative. It is, you could even say, 0. And the last one, the last one's bad, right? If you look at the last one, you draw some person, this person's going to break their neck. They're falling down. You don't want to be this guy, all right? It's really negative. It's really steep, going downhill. You better bring your climbing equipment, all right? Very, very negative, okay? Very, very negative, just like some people in our lives. That's kind of, well, you don't know me well enough for me to say that yet. So it's negative, and it's a big negative number. I don't know, maybe it's like -5. Who knows? Not that 5 is the biggest number in the grand scheme of things, but for a slope, that's pretty steep. So maybe these are estimates, and it's just the idea of getting practice estimating, and you know, you should have the positive part right. And if it's really flat, it should be a small fraction. If it's really steep, like this one, then it should be a bigger number. All right. That's kind of what to do. All right, and that's half of the whole section. We have another video that'll be the other half of this section, and then you've got 1.3 as well. All right, get started on the homework. Get started on the homework before you even go to the next video. Okay, and ask me if you have any questions. Anyway, have a good one. Good luck.